She's April.
And she's Molly.
Oh my god. And we are
the Book Besties.
Who are back, bitches!
Oh, stream of consciousness is exactly what this is. There's no rhyme or reason.
Are you just little magnets that draw together and act all awkward until our people come and pull us apart again?
I always like the idea of sci-fi.
Freaking Joss is sci-fi, homie.
Vampire... No.
Thank you! Vampires don't have sperm!
We're fucking crying over a fake dog!
Because it's the first episode of the season. We are 24 motherfucking minutes in and we have not gotten past that question 2!
She told me to be in control.
Oh my gosh. I can't rein her in, guys. I can't. I don't know what to tell you. Molly, please don't start our episode by calling our fans bitches.
Okay, fuckers? Is that
No,
better?
that's worse! I thought we left fuckers in season 4.
I mean it in all sincerest endearment. I love you fuckers so much.
Oh my gosh. I can't rein her in, guys. I can't. I don't know what to tell you. But we are back after a long hiatus. We took the summer off, but we're going to talk about that more next week because to kick off season 5, we have a remarkable guest with us today. We have Heather from the Bookables channel on YouTube. So thank you for joining us, Heather.
Yes,
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
No, guys, you don't understand. We have OG.
No.
OG. She is
influencer.
YouTube book talk. So she is YouTube booking before this book talk bullshit even took off. She's like the OG.
No, I'm really not. But thank you. I'm not. But yeah, thank you.
All right. So a little bit about Heather. Heather, also known as Bookables, is a mom of 2 and a huge book lover. Her favorite genres to read are romance and thrillers. And her first love of books started with Harry Potter and grew from there.
We all can't be John Green fans.
Can't help it. Her YouTube channel is Bookables, where she reviews and talks about all things book. And her most recent reads are the last one by Will Dean and The Wishing Game by Meg Schaefer. But I think that's from when you sent me your bio when we were supposed to do this in July. So
No worries. Those are still my favorites.
Okay.
There you go.
But what was the last book you read?
Oh, the last book I read. Oh my gosh, I have it right. I have
She
it somewhere.
just posted a video today of what she read in August.
This is the last book I read.
It's supposed to be good.
I didn't love it as much as The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, but that's okay.
Okay,
I
so
enjoyed
that's the same author. I haven't read The Wall of whatever it is, but I have it on my TBR. I bought
love
the physical
it.
copy when it was re-released, so
Me
I haven't read
too.
it yet.
Yeah, it's a great one.
But I have to share how we came about to have Heather on our show because we still jokingly are like the small time pod, right? So we have a pretty good following, but nowhere near. How many followers do you have on YouTube? It's like 80,000.
Something like
Yeah.
that. Who knows? It's not that big.
It's not a big deal. It's just 83K. It's fine. Whatever.
There's a lot of people that have way more than me. So it's totally okay. I love it, so it doesn't.
As we're sitting here with our little lowly, like 300 people that listen to us.
500. We have 500.
Look, I've been doing it for like over 10 years, so that's the only excuse.
See? OG, guys! OG!
So Heather and I actually know each other IRL because Heather is a frequenter of my library. And we talk about a lot how I'm a children's librarian on here, and you have come to some of my programs as a children's librarian. And I'm going to be perfectly honest. I did not know your channel the first time that you came in. I know, right? How dare me?
The audacity of her.
But one of my staff was totally fangirling on you. She was like, I think that's Bookables. And I was like, what?
Who's that? Who's that woman?
And she
Whose horse is that?
Oh my gosh, she's this booktuber, and I've been following her for a decade. And I was like, well, go introduce yourself if you want. And then we just kind of have hit it off because we have a lot of things in common and books especially. But kids similar ages. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of how we did this. And I was just like, hey, you want to come and chat with us about a book? And you were like, sure.
Yeah,
So,
why not? I love talking about books.
yeah.
I mean, us too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you treat, fictional characters like they're real people, you are our friend, bestie
That's
here.
right. That's right.
I'll be an honorary book bestie then.
Yes.
Yes.
We have a few of those.
I know
So
you do.
you're
I know.
welcome to the club.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Francesca Zappia's in the list, so I mean,
just go ahead and flip your hair when you say it.
yeah.
Mhm.
I'm just saying we're friends with Chessie, so being a bestie like Chessie ain't so bad.
Oh,
She's
you're
coming
right.
on again this season. Next month she'll be on. We actually have all of our guests this season are honorary book besties because we've just adopted you into that. So,
Yes.
so
We
we're
have
having
Addison
a shorter
Armstrong.
season. Yeah, Addison Armstrong, and of course Nurse Katie's coming on again.
Nurse Katie, duh.
But so we are here to talk about this book right here, Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. And this is the Barnes & Noble special edition that has these frayed edges.
That's beautiful.
I'm pretty sure that's the only thing that makes it a special edition, but I bought this book. Huh?
It's blue.
It's blue. I bought this book. Barnes & Noble has a half off hardback every year on December 26th. And so I just always go and buy, and that includes like their special editions that they got, like the leather bound and things like that. So I always go and like pick up special editions. And so I picked up this one because it was their book of the year last year.
Oh.
And I mean, I see why.
Yeah. Yeah. And so so I picked it up and we put it on pod, and now it's actually being made into a TV show. So
I was the trailer. I just saw the trailer.
Oh, there's a trailer already?
I haven't seen the trailer.
Brie Larson's playing the main character.
Yes, I knew that. Yeah.
I was curious because I was like, this is definitely going to be adapted. But I was like, who is going to play her?
Somebody that has to be able to do that slight tism. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's true.
I've got a question about it later, so we'll talk about it later. But how about a synopsis?
Please.
Okay, well, before I do the synopsis, I just want to say we're going to dedicate this episode to my mother-in-law, Diane Watkins, who passed away in August, just a few weeks ago. It was very sudden and very unexpected, but Diane was a chemist. And when they were visiting us, she actually died while she was here. But when they were visiting us, I had just started the book. I was like 30 pages in, and I was like, Diane, you have to read this book. I think you'll really like it. And she read it in 24 hours. So this will be the last book that she read. And I'm very thankful that I had the chance to share that with her.
Me too.
And shout out to Bonnie Garmus, because I messaged her on Instagram and she was so kind and had just really amazingly thoughtful words to say about the loss of my mother-in-law. So thank you for that. And now a synopsis. Ready?
Now to the book.
On to the book. All right. Lessons in Chemistry is mostly about the life of Elizabeth Zott, a chemist in the 1950s and 1960s, a time when women in STEM was not only rare, it was practically non-existent. Elizabeth's life has always been messy, from grifter parents to a queer brother who committed suicide. She grew used to counting on only herself. This is something that continues into her adulthood after she is raped by a college professor, harassed by her colleagues at Hastings Lab, and the tragic death of her lover. After the death of her lover, Calvin Evans, Elizabeth discovers she is pregnant, which leads to even more turmoil since she is an unwed mother. Eventually, Elizabeth lands a job as a TV cook, where she teaches the chemistry of cooking to housewives across the country and inspires some scientists in her wake. This book is woven together over several timelines and includes a long list of characters who intertwine into a story that is damn near perfection. Trigger warnings for this episode: rape, sexual assault, sexual harassment, and suicide. So there you go.
Oh boy.
Oh goodness.
Yeah,
so this book is a lot heavier than I expected.
Yes.
Word. It is such a cute cover. I go, oh, this is gonna be fun. I need to jump back into the pod. Right. No.
Yeah.
This is not light, guys.
Yeah.
I expected light. I did not expect this. All right. So can we go into questions?
Please.
I feel like I forgot how to pod. So if I've
That's why you're going first.
If I fuck it up, just rein me in, Molly.
Guys, she wants me to be in I want everybody to hear that. She told me to be in control.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Okay, so
good job.
I feel like there's no good starting point in discussing this book, so I'm going to start with the science. There is so much chemistry in this book, including the fact that Elizabeth refuses to call salt by anything except sodium chloride. And she once refers to water as better known as H2O.
H2O.
Better known as H2O. Did the science turn you off of this book?
No, absolutely not. Because when we read Jurassic Park and we talked about
so much science.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So when we read Jurassic Park, the science and the math gets mind melty, right? Like you get to a point in that book where you're like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I'm just going to skip forward 4 pages and I hope it still connects, right? In this, the author did such a beautiful job of weaving the two together. Yeah. The story, the science, the little ADHD dyslexic kid that hid in the back, understood science for once, guys.
Yeah.
Hot damn, huh? What do you think, Heather?
No, I totally agree with what you said. I always like the idea of sci-fi. But whenever I read or watch a sci-fi movie, I feel so stupid. I'm like,
no.
I'm like, am I in kindergarten? So I was really worried because like whenever I like Andy Weir books, I love them. But when it gets to the science part,
we love Andy Weir.
Yeah, I love them too. But like when it gets to the science part, I'm just like, what's 2 + 2? I don't know.
Yeah. But that was what was the last one? The Project Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Some of that, the science stuff he's talking with the spider, I'm like, duh.
Yep, that's just the question. Yeah, totally get it. But I agree with you, how she weaved it into the story so effortlessly. The way she wrote it really made it easy. So I love the science, and I think it's great. It reminded me a lot of like Allie Hazelwood's, how she's bringing a lot of STEM into romance, and she brought like kind of
You know who
STEM.
else does that really good? Deborah Harkness.
Ooh, good to know. I'll make sure I remember that.
Oh yeah,
the Discovery of Witches. Of course. That's your thing. I know that.
Yes, All Souls. Deb and I are like, I love that woman. Anyways, by the way, her new book is coming, guys.
I love
the Blackbird Oracles.
Go follow her on TikTok. She's really trying to hustle.
She's trying. Oh my God, go follow Deb on TikTok. Her publisher's making her do it, and she does not want to. I don't think. I'm not speaking for Deb. I'm just saying if I was Deb, I wouldn't want to either.
Dude, it's hard to TikTok, man. I feel like you have to be super young, and I'm not.
Yeah. I do it. Like my personal one, all I do is bullshit and show the animals off. Yeah, that's all it is.
So I liked the science in this book too. Like I felt like it was really easy to understand. The one part of the science that I struggled with is and now I forgot the term for what she was actually most interested in.
Type of biochemistry.
Yeah, what was it? So I actually had to ask my mother-in-law what it was because I couldn't remember like what it was, or I didn't really know what.
Piper tried explaining it to me, and I started falling asleep.
Well, so Diane explained it to me like this. It's basically like physics has the Big Bang Theory, right? So it's the point of which physics believes the world started. This is the chemistry version of that. And she's like, and that's all I can remember because I don't know anything about it. She's like, that's not the kind of chemistry I did. So,
well, at least you could ask her though. That was cool that she could explain it to you.
I know, it was great. But I related note when we were trying to I can't find it. Related note when we were trying to like get into her accounts, my mother-in-law's accounts, it turns out like all of her passwords were chemical phrases. They were all like chemical equations, and I was like, "This is my favorite thing to know about her now."
Yeah, I mean, how that shows that she really did what she loved. That was her. Yeah, it's her passion. That's so awesome.
I thought that we never get to hear this about Elizabeth, but I kind of feel like Elizabeth was some sort of neurodivergence. Like, I don't think that she was neurotypical.
I felt the same way.
Okay.
Oh, no. Yeah. That woman was autistic.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, as a kid that grew up in the special ed class off and on because of my Hi. I know what autism looks like. I grew up with it.
Yeah,
And I'm not saying that to be rude or disrespectful, but neurodivergence, recognize neurodivergence, man. We kind of need just little magnets that draw together and act all awkward until our people come and pull us apart again. Like
there are so many people that have studied Einstein and like Oppenheimer, let's use that as an example. It's really like big right now. And there's so much evidence that they were neurodivergent, probably autistic. We don't use the term anymore of Asperger's, but that was more along the line of probably what they were.
Well, and didn't they make a disease named in the autism spectrum after Einstein? Like it's about early readers because
I don't know.
I don't know
either. I'm gonna look it up because I know what I'm talking about, but I sound crazy.
I haven't heard that. But just the way that she communicated with people, and did not really understand social cues, like there was definitely something going on there. But I thought that her love of science, like that ran deep, but it didn't lose me. And that's,
I agree.
Yeah.
Important.
Okay, so I'm not crazy. It's called Einstein syndrome. It is a state in which child exhibits speech delays, but also demonstrates outstanding analytical skills and memory retention. So they're early readers, early mathematicians, but they just don't speak.
Right. Einstein didn't talk until he was 3.
Exactly.
Oh, I did not know that. That's awesome.
My husband didn't start talking till he was like 5 or 4.
Yeah, my son didn't start talking until he was 4.
Yeah. But Matthew had 2 older and 2 younger, so somebody was always there to tell him, his parents, what Matthew wanted.
Yeah.
He didn't have to talk for himself. And now he doesn't either because he's got me.
Oh, your husband's name's Matthew?
Yeah.
So is mine.
It's a good name.
Well, there's 2 Matts now. So
fine. We don't need you anymore. Now, the Bookable and Molly. Don't worry. She tried cutting me out with my other besties, so
I did.
She does deserve this.
Oh my God. No, it's just.
All right. The story spans the lifetimes of both Elizabeth Zott and Calvin Evans, because you actually see both of their childhoods.
Yes.
And you don't see Elizabeth's death, but you see Calvin. So it's most of their lives. So who do you think is the main character?
I think, Elizabeth, I would say for sure. Tom, not Tom. Is that his name, Tom? No, Calvin. Oh, no, I said Tom because that's your husband. Sorry. No, Calvin definitely played a big part of it, but I think the overarching story is mainly about Elizabeth. But he is a very crucial part of her life, but he's not her whole life, you know? But so I would say Elizabeth. What do you guys think?
I think it's Elizabeth, but it's also Mad.
Yes, Calvin. That's true. Yes.
Madeline.
Matt.
Yeah.
Because she's one of the first things we talk about on page 1.
Yeah.
That's
right?
True.
And we are talking about that child throughout this book. She may not be a primary character, but she may not be speaking and being the focal point, but she is everything everyone is talking about.
Yeah.
She is the purpose and the reason for all of these stars to align.
Yeah.
So she is a main character without being a main character.
Yeah. I think that Elizabeth is the main character too, but I have a feeling that some people would read this book and think that it was Calvin. That this is the story of how people continued on their life after Calvin died.
Ooh,
I think the people that would mostly focal on that are men, because
men.
It's a man. To quote Allie Hazelwood, be better than the mediocre white man.
She's not wrong.
But I have a theory. I think we're gonna get another book.
From Mad's point of view of it, don't you?
Yes.
I would love that.
I think how she's doing this, and the reason Mad was so important in this book is because she's going to tell her mom's story as a writer from her point of view later. So I think it's going to be her telling her mom's biography.
I think that the next book will be Mad and Addison. Is that Calvin's biological mom? Spoiler.
Yeah.
Avery.
Okay, yeah. That would be interesting.
I think it's going to be their two
relationship,
lives.
their growth.
And how they paralleled each other and how,
yeah.
But I definitely think I'd like to live in this world longer. Like, I think this is a great character.
I was not ready to leave. By the time I got to the end of the audiobook, that last 2 hours, I was like, there is way too much story still here. And as I started getting it, at that 15-minute marker, I knew I was almost done. And I was like, no, there's too much story still here.
Right.
She's not done.
When I was actually finding out the connections, when all the connections are revealed, and if you're new to our pod, we give spoilers, so just know that we don't usually say that every episode. Our main listeners, they know that we do that, so we're going
that's
to
the whole point of you guys coming, right? Is you want to know if we
what
care.
Books we're reading ahead of time, so you can read them and then come talk to us. So when all the connections were finally being made, when all these people were lining up, I literally started yelling, "Yes, I knew it!" Or, "Oh my gosh, that's so crazy!" And my mother-in-law is sitting there beside me, and she's like, "What happened? What happened?" Because she at that point had already finished it. So it was really great. It was a book that captivated me. I was involved, And the last book, and I know Molly does not like this book, but the last book that really had all these connections that I enjoyed was Station 11. To me, it's like that.
I haven't read that one.
It's not that I don't like Station 11. It's just, I don't feel like it has a point. There's no point in it. It's a book about the world ending, and there's Shakespeare for some reason in a fucking airport. Why? Why?
Go listen to Chezzy in my episode. That's why.
I was also very sick with COVID when they filmed that. I couldn't even speak.
Right.
But all you would have heard me go is, why?
I have not read it, so I don't know.
You should.
You'll agree with me. You'll agree with me.
It's really good.
You look like a real smart woman, Heather. You're going to agree with me.
So is your best friend. She's a real smart woman.
Oh, she absolutely is.
What the fuck, Molly?
She absolutely is. She knows she's a smart woman. She just makes poor choices sometimes.
What?
Look, it happens to everybody. We all disagree.
Poor book choices. You hate my favorite book.
You hate it. I just didn't like it. But you don't
like your favorite book?
Discovery Witches.
I haven't read that yet.
It just depends. It depends on what book in the series. All Souls, the middle one right now is my favorite. I don't hate your favorite book. I love To Kill a Mockingbird and its purpose in our society. Do I like reading it? Do I enjoy reading it? Absolutely not. But I like it because it has a purpose in our society, in our world.
To Kill a Mockingbird is the reason that I don't like historical fiction, because that set the bar so fucking high.
And I don't think it's historical fiction.
It is historical fiction. It was written in the 60s about the 40s. That is historical fiction.
That is true.
Okay.
We all have disagreements. One of my best friends loves the fourth Twilight book, and I loathe it with a burning passion. So we disagree about that all the time.
It's not good. Yeah. But we do have to ask you, Heather, because this is constantly a confirmation that we have. This is a belief we have on Book Besties. Okay. How do you feel about vampire sperm? Can vampires have sperm?
Vampire pregnancy.
No.
Thank you! Vampires don't have sperm!
I mean, I grew up with Buffy and then Twilight. Yeah, it's never happened.
Well, Edward gets Bella pregnant, but I want to know.
Woman, you can't say you're not good with sci-fi if you watch Buffy. Freaking Joss is sci-fi, homie.
Right? Yeah, I get what you're saying, but yeah, no, I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why they did that in Twilight. I think that's why a lot of people don't like the fourth book.
You know why they did that in Twilight? No, I can't say it.
Yes, you can.
No, I can't. I'm gonna offend a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. Then Tom, bleep this out.
No, yeah. We had to have a partner for Jacob, but that's all I'm gonna say.
Oh my gosh, that's the worst. I can't believe they did that. I can't believe they did that. I've never been more mad at book series than that.
You imprinted on my daughter!
But I was also in love with your mom, so no big deal.
Okay?
No, it wasn't even that he was in love with her mom. He actually says in the movie, do you remember how you wanted me around? That was her. So what he's basically saying is the ovum.
Your ovaries called to me.
Called to me before you even were pregnant with her. And that's what attracted. He wasn't just in love with a baby. He was in love with an egg.
But then why wasn't he also drawn to Edward? He hated Edward from the start. He hated Edward from the start. He hated Edward from the start.
And that was going to be the father of his love.
If that is true, he should have equally loved Edward just as much because that baby is half Edward and half.
That's true. Bella. I never thought about that.
I didn't either. But Molly, because it's the first episode of the season, we are 24 motherfucking minutes in and we have not gotten past that question 2.
We're back, baby!
Welcome to the clusterfuck that is our show.
Let's read our book. You guys want to read our book? Let's do our book.
Heather's videos are all like very well streamed. She has like a plan, and then we're over here.
She's like, I really love this collab, but maybe we just stick to your side of things, guys.
Oh my god, no, I do not. You know how much I have to edit my and my
I'm
That's
sure.
edited. Podcasts are like just a nice stream of consciousness.
Yeah,
so it's really great.
Oh, stream of consciousness is exactly what this is. Yeah. There's no rhyme or reason.
It's like a armful of bouncy balls just got thrown into a room.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on. There are many difficult scenes in this book, including Elizabeth being raped in college by her professor and Calvin dying from a terrible accident. So were the gory details, were they necessary to the plot?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Because that's who she is, and that's how she talks, and that's how she thinks, and that's her stream of consciousness. We are hearing the story from her and her point of view. Mm-hmm. The way she explains the situation is how it happened. Mm-hmm. She's not, it's like my oldest, right? She's not bullshitting you. It is just the facts. Piper's telling you exactly how it is because that's how it comes out of her head, and that is how she's thinking it. Mm-hmm. She's not being gratuitously gross. She's just telling you what she knows, and what she knows is this is how it happened.
Yeah. What do you think, Heather?
No, I agree completely. They were definitely necessary. Were the details necessary? Yes, because I think this happened and it's still happening today, and it still gets pushed under the rug today. And it definitely was pushed under the rug, put in a box, and sealed away forever back in the day. Because if you said anything, it was really bad. So. Mm-hmm. The details
because you're the problem if you're the one
mentioning it. Yes, exactly. It's just the details were definitely necessary. Were they hard to read? Absolutely, but a lot of things are hard to read, but it's very true to today. So yeah, I definitely think they were necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I thought there was a lot of realism there. Like there's a lot of reality, and I agree with you that it's not just stuff that happened then. This is stuff that's still happening now.
Yeah.
And you see it in Allie Hazelwood's books, just to give the comparison, because she is writing the STEM romance.
Yeah.
In her first book, Love Hypothesis, the main character, Olive, is sexually harassed by a tenured professor. And so that is happening. That's happening. And Molly was military, so we've talked a lot about on this pod how that happens in military and it doesn't get taken care of. And And in this book, we have another character who we find out was raped as well by a college professor.
Don't forget your number 2, ladies. That's all we're gonna say.
And I love from that point on, she had a pencil in her hair every single day. She was never without that number pencil.
1 weapon. Yeah,
that was it. Yeah. And I like when the cops questioned her and she was like, I just wish I had more pencils.
Yeah. What the heck?
But the graphicness of Calvin's death, too, that really caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting him to die.
No, it was so shocking.
The rape happened so early in the story, and it seemed to make sense for this time period and for what we're talking about. But him dying, and so horrifically, like he hated rain, and he dies in the rain, and he's basically run over, right?
Yeah,
like he's run over. Like it's awful. But I do think that it was all necessary because I think that it made Elizabeth who she was.
Yeah.
And it also meant that all of these connections could come back because we learned that the person that he was emailing, not emailing, writing letters with when he was in college
Pen
ends
pal.
up being,
Pen
Pen
pal.
pal.
Pen pals. Yes, they were pen pals. And then he ends up being the minister that does the funeral and then ends up being friends with Mad when she meets him in the library. Like those connections, we get that because of the violent ways that some of these things happen.
Yeah, she weaves it virtually full circle. So I love that.
Oh gosh, it was perfect. I was really surprised at some of those connections. Like
this book was so well edited and thought out, and she sewed this together. Like this was not ran through a sewing machine. She hand stitched every one of these pages for you guys. Like this is a book that was a long process. You can tell by the writing. Yeah. As a writer, this took years.
Yeah. I want to see her idea.
Her wall.
Molly's wall behind her is always her like ongoing web.
Oh, cool.
And
this is my horror right now. I'm working on that the
Molly,
girl.
I don't want to talk about your whip until you go back to that fucking rom-com that you started and had me read the first 5 chapters and then just left it. I'm still mad about it.
She'll finish it one day.
Never.
I'm actually working on 2 whips right now. I have a YA series and my young adult series. So like,
oh, that's fun.
Oh no, I'm tired.
She's mad at me. I can never write.
I want the rom-com.
It's exhausting. Don't do it. You just hate yourself more.
Oh no, I'm not. That's why I read. I'll just read. I'll read.
Well, it works out well on our podcast, though, because Molly comes at things from a writer's perspective, and I come not just as a reader, but as a librarian. So, like, my job is literally...
Well, you're commercial. You're the commercial perspective. Yeah.
That's true. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Calvin and Elizabeth have a daughter called Mad. I love that her name is Mad. Mad is a genius and has about the same social skills as her parents. So, what are your thoughts on Mad?
I think she's an under-socialized child.
She tries.
But that's just me being a judgy mom. But she's brilliant. Heather?
I loved her. I thought she was really great. You know, she loves her mom so much and she tries to help her. She's also really close to, is it the neighbor across the street that's like kind of like her caretaker or like her babysitter almost as a friend? And then, you know, she does, it's odd that she makes
the older woman.
Yeah. And then she makes friends with that older guy. So yeah, her socialization is not the best, that's for sure. No. But she's got such a good heart and you can tell. So I'm interested to see how she will grow up as well.
Yeah.
But she was awesome. I love also isn't the reason why she called her Mad is because when she came out of the womb, like she was just angry. She's like, "You are so mad," and that's what she called her.
The nurse asked her, "How are you feeling?" And she said, "Mad."
Oh, okay, that's it.
And then she said, "Are you sure?" And she said, "Yes, mad." I don't know if she was still a little high on loopy on those drugs, and maybe misunderstood the question.
Maybe. Give birth no joke. Any woman.
Right.
No.
Right.
No. I mean, it destroys your damn body.
Yes, it does. But yeah, I love Mad.
I like her too, and I particularly like the scenes of her at school and how much her teacher was like against everything that she could do. You know?
That was just typical. I feel like gossip mill. Yeah, totally. Totally forgot about that.
She's a very precocious child.
Oh, yeah. But you know what? With saying that, Molly, her character could have gone very cliche. It could have been very much the cliche, precocious child of the geniuses. And like, she could have been completely one note. And I don't feel like Mad was like that. Like, I feel like there was a lot of depth to her. And she was a little kid. I mean,
but it was very realistic as a mother that raises a weird little nerdy.
Yeah.
I have a weird little precocious kid.
Yeah.
I really do. She's a teenager now. She's not little. But Piper would get in those little bits where she'd be researching something off the wall. And as intelligent as Mad was for her age, the fact that she would be doing random research is not so strange at all. Right. Not strange at all.
And it makes sense to who her parentage was. Like,
yeah.
If Calvin were alive, I'm sure he would have been doing experiments with her too. Like,
yeah.
I mean, that would be normal for their family.
Yeah.
You know?
Like having a kitchen, but
like their science is
normal.
because science is their religion, right?
Yeah.
It's their love, it's their heart, it's their
Right.
soul, it's their being.
Yeah, I think probably the only thing that came close to love for Elizabeth, other than Calvin and Mad, was chemistry. I don't think she loved anything else. I think
The
those
dog.
were
6:30.
Oh yeah, she loves 6:30.
Great transition, because that's my next
6:30.
question.
Oh, perfect. It's like you knew.
It's like she knew.
It's
So
like
I
I
want
have
to talk about 6:30. By the way, great name.
Yeah.
Great name.
It's the name of Calvin and Elizabeth's dog, and Elizabeth teaches him language. Like 6:30 knows like legit words and characters in the
and
book.
He keeps track. He knows how many words he knows.
So what kind of thoughts do you have about 6:30?
I thought I love that we got his perspective, and that he was like kind of a rejected bomb sniffing dog, and so his whole mission is just to please his owners and his family, and like I just thought he was awesome. Like as soon as Mad came home, like he's like, this is another human to take care of. You know, he was just
what. And what a beautiful way to show the transition of life from a third party without bringing another human in, a judgment. True. Dog is true love, right? That dog 6:30 loves them. He is dedicated to them because that is his job. He is a dog. And so we are getting a true perspective of someone that truly cares about these two characters we're supposed to be focused on.
Right.
Yeah, and the fact that like she could trust him to like go pick up Mad from school and take him back. Right. Like, I mean, I love my dog.
Okay,
my dog.
By the way, that is so the 60s. Like,
yes,
we're not sending our dog to pick up our kids now.
Yeah, my dog would
go get the tiny humans.
I just go, oh, it's the tiny humans.
So the special edition that I picked up from Amazon, or nope, Barnes and Noble.
Words are hard. It doesn't matter. Either way, hashtag not sponsored, guys.
Hashtag not sponsored. It'd be great if somebody sponsored us, but still.
Seriously. We'll do a circuit, Barnes and Nobles. Just pay us. Pay us.
There's a bonus content that's exclusive to this edition, and it's a chapter called 6:30 and the Moms. And it's another chapter from 6:30's perspective, and it's about when Elizabeth found out that she was pregnant. 6:30 realized that he was going to have to take care of the tiny human because he didn't feel like Elizabeth would be capable because she was still in so much grief from the loss of Calvin.
Yeah.
And so he went to the park and observed moms caring for little ones so that he would know how to care for Mad when she came.
Oh gosh, I'm not going to cry. That is the sweetest thing I think I've ever heard.
Cute. It's so sweet.
And I'm fucking crying over a fake dog.
And he is so judgmental of the moms because a lot of like one of the moms is just like basically like, I don't want to do this mom thing. And he's like, how can she be like that? Like, I don't, that's a tiny human. You got to take care of the tiny human. But it was so well written and so cute. And I was just like, I love that this was in my special edition, and I don't always read the extra bonus content, especially when it's a pod book, because I know like Molly and I won't have the same perspective if we get that extra chapter, but I had to read that extra chapter because I love 6:30.
Man, I'm mad that I can't read that extra chapter.
I know.
Awesome. I will bring it to you. And
I'm ready. Yes.
She's going to read it during story hour.
Yeah, I'm going to read it while at the story time.
Tiny human mommy's busy.
And but then 6:30 would judge me though, so I can't do that.
It's fine. I'll be her entertainment while you read.
That works out.
Miss
for me.
April is on the job.
That's right. So anyway, I loved 6:30. I thought the name 6:30 also is inspired by Bonnie Garmus's actual dog. Her dog's name is 99.
That's right. Yeah, that's awesome.
So I love that. There's like I think that name is really
cool. So beautiful.
It's beautiful. Yeah. All right. Elizabeth and Walter have a close working relationship that develops into a friendship. Both are broken people raising daughters in a world that disapproves of them. However, they managed to make one of the most successful afternoon shows of the time. What did you think of their relationship?
I love a platonic male-female story in relationship in a story. It's needed. We don't have it enough. It's not represented enough. Yeah. Like I have so many like court Court is one of my best friends. He and I love each other. Heather, from last season, Hillary was on. She's my best friend. My other best friend. Hillary lives in Ireland, and her husband, he works there. He's got a job there. But her husband and I are best friends. Her and I are best friends. So I love Court. So, but the point is platonic friendships like that, masculine and feminine, aren't shown a lot. So having that shown and represented is nice because it's common. It's a lot more common than people think.
I agree. I mean, what is that? One of my favorite movies, When Harry Met Sally. Harry tells Sally, he says, men and women cannot be friends. And I'm like, they can, though. Like, you know, there's certain boundaries, obviously.
But they're often portrayed like they are in Harry Met Sally. Like, they still wanted to sleep together.
Right. Yeah, it turned into something more. But yeah, I love that her and Walter had a platonic relationship. I love that he was a great father, even though he knew that his daughter was not his biological daughter. He was like, you know what? That's still my daughter, and I'm going to raise her because, you know, so he, you know, it was nice seeing a good guy in the book is what I'll say, because the rest of them were just jerks.
All of the other guys.
Yes, every single one.
Awful. Everyone's trash cans. Trash cans.
They were pretty much awful. Every man in her life was controlling and, you know, womanizing, and it just, you know, not good. But what I liked about him was it would have been very easy for him to walk away, right?
Yeah.
So his daughter isn't biologically his daughter. His wife cheated on him. His wife divorced him, took half their stuff, and moved across the country. And it was big news that this happened.
Yeah.
And now the teacher is totally judgmental of the way that he's raising his daughter and doing these things. And like homeboy did not have to stay around. Like he stayed.
Yeah, she was a true man, honestly.
Right. Yeah, I liked him a lot, and I'm glad they had a friendship that remained a friendship. I was really worried that we were going to run into that, like, this is going to be their second chance at love.
Me too.
And I didn't
no. Because they don't match.
No.
They don't match. No. They pair well as, like, friends. They pair well naturally there because that's where their chemistry rides. Forcing it to in a romantic nature would feel forced. It wouldn't feel natural for the story, especially for who she is as a character.
Right. Yeah, I mean, she even says, you know, that Calvin was her true soulmate. And, you know, I honestly don't see her being with anybody else.
No.
You know, I think about if my husband, you know, oh my gosh, I can't think of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just can't think about that kind of stuff. So I feel like that I'm glad that she did not make it into, she could have so easily done that. But I'm glad that she didn't.
Yeah. And I like how Walter protected her.
Yes.
He knew that their boss was vile. Like he did not want her alone with him.
Yeah.
Yes. Any woman in like work.
Any woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, no. You just I'll talk to him. You don't have to worry about it. I got it under control. It's fine.
And as much as Elizabeth fucked up, like as much as she like didn't do what he told her to do, he still supported her.
Yeah.
The only day that he like completely like left,
wiped his hands, dropped his shit, and just left. Like he's like, fuck this shit, I'm out. Bye. Like,
and that was the day that that her boss attacked her, and she took a knife out.
He had it on her person.
Good for you, Elizabeth.
I mean, you know what? I'm not mad at her at all. I totally agree. I was
like, hey, works better than number 2.
Right. The pencil would not have been enough in that case.
No way.
Yeah, it deserves every inch of that slice, though.
Yes.
But she didn't actually even cut him. She just pulled her knife out, and he had a heart attack out of fear. So
yeah, but then she saved him though. So it all worked out so nice.
911 and everything. Like,
just magically worked out.
Did I pull a knife out? I was like, maybe.
I just wonder, like,
did I intend to stab him? Possibly. Who could know? He started having a heart attack before I could make a decision on what I was going to do.
But, like, was he still pants down, penis out when the paramedics showed up? Like, was he still like...
She's like sitting there giving him like heart palpitations and his pants are down.
Oh, I wouldn't touch him either. I wouldn't.
So like, what did that look like to the paramedics?
She's like wedging him. She's like doing it with her foot so she doesn't have to get close to his body.
I can't blame her.
Very lightly compressions. I'm going to save him.
Do you remember? Did you guys ever watch The Office?
Yeah.
Where they did the scene where Kevin's doing the CPR and she's
Call
like, call it. She's like, it hasn't even been a minute. He's like, I'm done. That was a one.
Oh man. All right. So let's get into some spoilers. We've already had a little bit of spoilers here, but after Elizabeth's show Supper at 6 rises to national fame, Life magazine does a cover story on her. While Elizabeth tells the reporter the truth of her life, the magazine editor has his fact checkers seek out harmful quotes from the professor who raped her and the boss who fired her for being pregnant. Classy.
Both.
So
illegal, by the way.
Yes. Was this article realistic?
It exactly would have happened this way.
Oh, 1,000. Today it would still happen this way.
Yeah.
That's like, I can't even think of Star Magazine or something.
Star. Yeah. People.
Yeah.
Tatler.
They don't care about accomplishments. They care about the juicy gossip and the scandals.
It's like,
because that's what sells magazines.
Yes.
Look at like the headlines when it's like two athletes are married together. They'll do the JJ Watts's wife moves to, and then they said the team, and he's like, and he like retweeted, and he says, how about so-and-so signs a deal of like $2.5 million? Not my wife, bitch. Like, it's like,
she's an athlete in her own right.
She was signing. She got a freaking deal of a lifetime, man.
Well, she's not. She has a name. She's not just his
right.
wife.
She's just not. Yeah.
Right.
So that article so realistic.
So realistic.
I just thought it was interesting that they chose Life magazine to be the magazine that was featured, because Life magazine at the time, that was a really big deal. The astronauts were in Life. The astronaut wives were in Life. Life was like, that you made it big when you were in Life. And so to have somebody like scandalized in there, it was a different perspective on what I usually think of when I think of Life magazine.
But could it be
somebody who was a journalism major?
But could it be though, because this was strictly like about a woman, so Life was not used to that.
Yeah.
But I bet if we dug back in the archives and looked for stuff like this, we would find dirty little secrets like this.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure. I just thought what was really cool is that the reporter, he wrote the story factually, and he did try to get the correct story published. And I thought
they just wouldn't have it.
They wouldn't, but I thought that was a man who was changed by her being who she was, authentically who she was.
That's
true. And I think that's the point of this book.
Yeah.
That, like, this woman could change people.
Mm-hmm. But it's also a story of, if you stay authentic, you stay true to yourself, you stay true to your heart, you're gonna go right in the path you belong.
Right.
That's a good point, yes.
The whole, as long as you fuck around, you're gonna find out. That happened to all the people who were awful and vile to her. They all ended up getting it in the end, right? So
we're team fuck around and find out here in the Biggs house. So
yes.
Oh yeah, totally agree.
I taught my father-in-law that expression, by the way, while he was here. I said something to Tom about fuck around and find out, and he's like, "What is that?" And I was like, "The more you fuck around, the more probability you will find out." And he was like, "I like that. I'm going to use it."
I like how he wasn't scandalized. Like, he was just like, all right, I'm going to say that. I'm going to use it every day.
He was not scandalized.
That's awesome.
All right. Okay. So, all right, guys, if you do not want spoilers, you need to skip ahead here, because this whole question is all spoilers. It's all about how the story weaves together. This is the final warning. Skip ahead, or listen because you like spoilers, or
you're fucked,
or you've already read it and so you just want to hear our take. So, okay, here we go. All right, this story weaves together a lot of characters, including Wakely, a minister who was Calvin's pen pal during college, officiant of his funeral, and friend to his daughter. Miss Frask, who contributes to the firing of Elizabeth from Hastings, works for Wakely, and eventually returns to Hastings as the head of personnel. And of course, Miss Avery, who is the head of the Avery Foundation, financer of Elizabeth's work, and Calvin's mother.
And granddaughter to Mad.
Right, grandmother to Mad. How did you feel Bonnie Garmus handled this huge character load? Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to write multiple characters, keep track of their storylines, and make sure everything is right from beginning to end?
And one of those characters is a child, and one of those characters is a dog.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to even it is so difficult. And as a person that has written in a massive plot hole into a novel, I can tell you novels get trashed for this stuff.
Yeah.
All the time.
Mm-hmm.
So for her to do this right is fantastic. I haven't seen somebody manage this many characters that well in a long time. Deb, the selection, great use of managing multiple characters.
I just want Kira Cass to create a new adult continuation of the selection.
Are we not a fan?
No. I'm not a fan of the selection series. I think I was when I was younger.
Thank you for joining us.
It's been a great night on the Book Besties, and that was Bookables. No. Thank you.
I'm a person that everyone can like what they like. And
of course, we're just joking.
I'm really happy that you guys like it.
The only thing that we are super judgy on is 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah,
we just judge people who like that.
I think everyone does usually. It's an unspoken thing. It really is.
Yeah.
No, I think she handled. I think I love how it came full circle. She handled it really good. I think some of it was pretty obvious, but then but she threw in other ones. It was kind of like a mystery thriller in a way, you get the clues all in the end, and sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing, and sometimes you're like, that's not great. But she really did a great job of weaving it all together and made you feel for all these characters, and she did awesome.
I bet if we reread it, we'd see Easter eggs too.
Oh my gosh, totally right. Yeah,
I feel like if we reread this is a book that has Easter eggs.
And we're just missing because them. I realized as things were happening, I was like, oh, that's this person. That's this person. After I knew, I was like, oh, that's what this was.
I know it's highly inappropriate, but I always love when authors write in child, old man, best friend. Mm-hmm. I find it fucking hilarious. Right? It's up for me, it's just
there are times that it can be done well and there are times that it can be creepy. This is one of the times it was done well.
Yes, it was done well. It wasn't overly creepy. Yeah, it could have went creepy real fast, but it did.
Real fast.
Yeah, no, I thought she handled this character load. To me, this book is a masterclass in how to handle this many point of views. With this many timelines, I mean, we're talking about the entire life of
for a debut author.
Yeah,
that's true. I totally forgot.
Debut
this was her first
author. I'm pretty sure it is
author at all.
I thought she was. This was her new
copywriter and creative director who had worked wildly in the fields of.
I think this is her first novel.
Oh, she's an open water swimmer and a rower, so that's where the rowing comes in. Huh.
Oh my gosh, the rowing. that was
Discovery of Witches.
I don't know enough about rowing to have enjoyed those parts of the book. I kept being afraid she was going to drown.
She only has one book, guys.
Molly texted me and was like, if this woman drowns, I'm going to be pissed.
Yes.
That would be so messed up.
She kept saying, I can't swim. I can't swim.
I honestly thought
I can't swim. And I was like, son of a bitch. I'm like this girl. She better not die. She can't be the main character and die.
I honestly thought it was more likely that she died than Calvin. I was really surprised by him dying. That was really surprising to me. I just kind of
I was shocked when he died.
Yeah.
And that damn leash law. Her making him follow the leash law and that being the reason.
Oh my god!
Well, that's what haunted her and 630 the rest of their lives, right?
She never used another fucking leash again.
She feels like she killed him because she made him use the leash. 630 feels like he killed him because he's the one that pulled on the leash. So either way, All right, so. Lessons in Chemistry is being made into a show for Apple TV, guys. Mm-hmm. So I did look up the IMDb, and I'll put it in the description below. But these are some of the people. Brie Larson is playing Elizabeth, and Kevin Sussman as Walter. Do y'all know who that is?
No, who is that?
Big Bang Theory. He's the owner of the comic book store.
I never watched The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, yes!
Do we not have a Calvin yet?
They do. Hang on, let me go.
He's playing. Who's Sussman playing?
Walter, which is like kind of perfect because he's like so neurotic. Like all the characters he plays are neurotic. Tom is going to hate this clicky clacky.
Oops.
Oh well. All right, so here's the cast. We've got Brie Larson as Elizabeth. Maddie is Alice Halsey. I'm not sure who that is because she's a child. Let's see.
I'm sure it's still not announced.
So I do have an issue with this one. Mrs. Sloan, don't you picture her as older? The neighbor.
She's supposed to be in her 50s.
Yeah. Asia Naomi King from How to Get Away with Murder is playing her.
Really?
What?
And she's like my age, I think, maybe even younger than me.
Yeah, I pictured her like in her 60s or so.
Yeah, she's definitely supposed to be older.
Yeah. Also, that girl is way too young.
Also, Wakely is a woman in the show.
Oh, instead of the minister being a guy?
It's a woman. Yeah.
Interesting.
Which I think is
weird. They're trying to avoid getting accused of, predatory things.
I don't see that they have cast him yet. Cast Calvin. He's not. There's no one listed for that yet.
I wonder if
I see Lewis. If I type in on Google, it says Lewis Pullman.
Oh, who is Lewis Pullman? I need to look that up.
Let me see. Let me make sure if it says filmography. Yeah, it says Calvin. I don't know. I feel bad. I don't know who he is. He's going to be in the new Salem's Lot that's coming out. I know that. He was in Top Gun Maverick. Bad Times at the El Royale.
I don't know him, but
I don't really know him either.
Well, that's fine. But anyway, so we shall see. Do you all plan to watch it? Will you watch it?
Yes. I think it will be great into a show. Like I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
And Apple's done a really good job with most of its shows I've seen. I have no complaints with Apple as a production company so far.
I don't know that I agree that all of them have been great, but
the ones I've seen, I said.
Ted Lasso.
The ones I've seen.
See, I've only seen Ted Lasso.
So I watched the morning show, and the first season of the morning show was really good, but the second season just wasn't as good.
Okay, see, interesting. I'm always very apprehensive, I will say, to any sort of book to movie show adaptation because they've done it wrong in a lot of ways.
So many times. So many. I have beef, Casey McQuiston.
Oh, Red, White, and Royal Blue.
Watch Red, White, and Royal Blue.
I haven't watched it yet. Have you watched it?
You watched it? I've watched it twice.
I'm so mad, April.
Did you like it?
I'm mad. I'm big mad. I have big mad feelings.
I liked it in its own right, but they made some changes that I feel really...
Yeah.
Like, one of the main things that they changed is that Alex doesn't really go through a bi identity crisis. He's just bi. He's actually had relationships.
He's just like, fine, I'm bi. Hey, by the way.
Not necessarily like relationships, but he's like been with two guys, not just the one from high school. There's another guy. And his friend who's the senator, who's like the gay senator, they reworked that character. So he's a journalist and Alex is actually hooked up with that guy. So that change really got that heart of like Alex going through that, identity crisis. I think it changed the meaning of the book a lot. Also, the guy that plays Henry looks like Macaulay Culkin, and that creeps me out.
Yeah. If I had seen the movie by itself, I would have thought the movie was cute. It was heartwarming. It was adorable.
The movie. It's just
I have the source material at hand.
Oh, it's a movie, not a show. I didn't know that.
No, it's
I've read that book so many times. It is here. It is burned in my brain. No.
That book is one that I read 4 times in 1 year. I've never really done that before, but that book was like one that was such an easy palate cleanser when I was having like a hard time getting back into like reading, when I was like, my brain is broken, I don't want to read. Okay.
When we tried making a freaking season for a whole year, you mean?
Yeah. So, that's all I don't have any other questions. Do you guys have any additional comments? Anything hanging over?
I like the side stories in this. Mm-hmm. She took detail and time on them. Like the neighbor / nanny who fell in love with the producer.
Yes.
And the HR girl getting her redemption arc.
Yeah.
And, you know, I love these little finite details in lines coming together so smoothly. It was just...
Yeah, I agree, because I think oftentimes in a lot of books, the side characters are just usually there to help boost the plot, boost the main character, and you don't get, they're just kind of there, like kind of face value. But in this book, I feel like you really got to see that, like, go into them and like get their, like you said, you get to see kind of. You know, I don't know what to say here, but you know, you get a little bit into their story, which I loved. So I definitely agree with that. Yeah,
I love getting a full world.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's what she's doing. She's giving us a full world.
I don't feel like there was any story that was left hanging. Like, I feel like she tied the knot in all of them. Like,
I
she
agree.
really did. We're going to close the story here, and I thought that was really. It was great.
Yeah. It wasn't open-ended. I mean, it was open-ended. We didn't get to go to dinner with them, but we got a happy conclusion.
Yes.
Our family is together. Our found family and our real family. And blood is thicker than water, I guess. I don't know. And like, things are just coming together, and that's happy. Yay.
Yeah.
Right?
The way she ended it was great. And I could definitely see her branching off to do more from this world. But if she leaves it at this too, I'll still be okay. Because
I mean, I don't need a sequel. I want to hear Maddie. I want to hear Mad. I want to hear Mad tell this story as an adult.
I agree.
Yeah, I think it would be it would sort of remind me of like Outlander, like where they come back around and now it's the daughter's story. And I feel like that's what could happen here. We could have Mad in college and what it's like for her as a woman in college in probably the 70s would be my guess, 60s, 70s, depending on.
Oh, that would be interesting.
So
it'd probably be late 70s, right?
Yeah, 70s.
That's what I think. Probably 70s, which is actually when my mother-in-law went to school,
unless they...
And she was the only woman in her chemistry department. So like, it would be really interesting to see what Mad's experience was if she were to follow into her mother's and father's footsteps. So
that
would be awesome.
That would be.
All right. So we're going to talk about what we've got coming up this month. But Heather, thank you so much. This was awesome.
We had so much fun.
Thank you for having me. I had a great time.
You are totally welcome to come on anytime.
I would love that.
We've got you now as an honorary bestie. I love it.
Oh, yay. I'm so glad.
So, hey, so everybody, this is what we've got coming up this month. Check our social media, check our website. We have listed what's coming up. We've listed on our website. I have all 4 of the guests that are coming on this season, which is just amazing. We've got some really great guests. So next week, we're going to talk about this book, The Perfect Marriage. Geneva Rose.
Geneva Rose.
And I have to tell you guys, this book was in the donation pile at my library, so I bought it in the Friends book sale, and it was barely read. So yeah, I scored some really good books in that Friends book sale for 50 cents each. So after The Perfect Marriage, we've got Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. And I've got a special edition of this one with the cool sprayed edges.
Beautiful.
And they had a special edition for House in the Cerulean Sea that also had the sprayed edges, and I forced myself not to buy it because I was like, I already have a copy of it, but it's so pretty.
But it's such a good book.
It's such a good book.
Oh my gosh. Still my favorite book that I read in 2022. Still my favorite book.
It's a great book.
And then we're going to wrap out the month with this book, No One Left to Come Looking for You by Sam Lipsyte,
I think it is.
And Molly, I'll be honest with you, I've never heard of this book. So I went ahead and checked
it out. I saw it on TikTok.
Oh boy.
So I checked it out. I checked it out from my library. It's like only 200 pages.
Yeah.
So the audiobook is really short.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to look at the physical book because I was like, what even is this? But it's a mystery, which is funny because that both books that you picked this month are mysteries.
I know. But I do love my thrillers and my mysteries.
Me too.
I'm Karen Slaughter's like my go-to. I freaking love her so much.
She's way too graphic for me.
Yeah, but
she does do graphic.
Yeah, she does. It's really graphic. But so I didn't plan that. It's just, I saw Geneva on TikTok. Have you seen her on TikTok at all? Heather.
You know what?
She's hilarious.
I am not on TikTok as often. Like
her husband did this whole series about watching Twilight for the first time, and I nearly pissed myself.
I'm gonna watch that now.
Okay, so I'm gonna watch that too.
Yeah, doesn't want to watch that.
He's so funny. It's so funny. So, but yeah, that's why Geneva's on ours, because I need to try her.
Yeah,
and I might as well make April do it with me.
Well, I'm glad you did, because I would have never read that book otherwise.
No, and it's so goddamn good.
We're going to talk about it next week. Don't give anything away.
Yes,
But in October, we're doing spooky reads. Woo-hoo. So we'll have 4 spooky books. And
Chessie's coming on for that.
Going to join us, yeah. And so we have some really good books coming up, but because you picked 2 mysteries this month and next month is spooky reads, we do not have a motherfucking romance novel until like December.
I gave you all winter romances, woman. I
know that, but
I gave you winter romances.
Well, we have 4th,
and we're gonna do February romances.
We have 4th Wing in November, which is romantasy, which I know is Andrew's favorite, but I love romantasy.
I loved 4th Wing. I definitely felt the hype.
I had a lot of people reach out to me. I've had a lot of people reach out to me and like, Molly, you gotta read 4th Wing. You gotta read 4th Wing.
Molly doesn't really love romantasy. It's like not her thing. She doesn't like the.
I didn't like A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Oh, I love that one. See, man,
I know, right?
It just reminds me. 4th Wing reminds me so much of when I first started my BookTube channel, where it was Divergent and Hunger Games, and I was like, oh my gosh, so freaking nostalgic. Like, I don't care if it's written that in the. I don't care. That's my thoughts of 4th Wing.
I feel like that's why I'm gonna like it too, because of that. But I mean, I'm older than you, so like for me, that's not really nostalgia. When those books were coming out, I was like,
I was a grown up.
Yeah. How old are you guys?
I'm 40.
Okay.
41.
Oh, I'll be 35 next month. I'm not that much.
Okay. No. But no,
whenever Chessie's on, I always forget how young she is, and I'm like, oh,
she's just a little baby.
Just a baby.
Or as we learn from, or as we say from Gray's, 12-year-olds. 12-year-olds. Heather, we've enjoyed having you on.
Oh
Thank you for joining us. I hope you come back.
I would love to
come back.
Definitely. You should come back in February when we do romance.
Yes, let me know. I love romance.
You can pick.
Ooh. I'm
really hoping, fingers crossed, I'm really hoping that we can get Nikki Payne to come in February.
Yes. Oh, her new book. I'm so excited for her new book. I'm going to go see her. I get to go see her in October. I'm going to, okay, besties, I will be at Nikki Payne's October event in DC.
Ask her if she wants to come on the pod, because I commented.
I've been talking with her.
I commented something on her Instagram, and she said yes. So tell her she needs to come on in February.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, her book Pride and Protest is really good. If you haven't read that one, definitely.
Oh, it's so good.
It's really, really, really good.
It's really good. It's a fun read too.
Sex in a limo. That's all I can say.
Oh
Sex in a limo.
Oh.
Okay. Well, yes. Only we know what that is. Oh man. Okay. So anyway, thank you, Heather. Molly, I love you.
I love you.
We're back. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye guys.
Bye. Thank you for joining us on Book Besties with special guest Heather from Bookables on YouTube. This episode is dedicated to Diane Watkins, who is a chemist, wife, mother, and nana. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The views discussed here are those of April and Molly and not those of anyone else. Today's book was Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. Your book besties are Molly Biggs and April Watkins, editing by Thomas Watkins, and music is Sleep Sweetly by Brigida. Don't forget to follow the Book Besties on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. If you'd like to contact the Book Besties, please email us at bookbestiespod@gmail.com or visit our website, bookbestiespodcast.com. Until next time, besties, get lost in your favorite book.